President of Western Kentucky State Normal School in 1906, Henry Hardin Cherry embodied what every successful Western alumnus is about. One of the leading educators in Kentucky during the early 1900s, Cherry's obsession was education.
He had a burning obsession with education. First of all, I think his own education. He worked hard, physical labor, to save enough money to walk into Bowling Green. He said in heavy snow in order to enroll as a student in Southern Normal. But he also saw education as necessary not only for himself, but for others as well. And this was a sort of holy crusade, I think, on Cherry's part. It was, I think, the great motivating factor throughout his life.
A man whose goals and dreams never ceased, Henry Hardin Cherry led Western through its infancy, meeting challenges head-on along the way.
Cherry always responded to a challenge. I remember that one of his colleagues said that Cherry could never have played football because he would always keep expanding the length of the field. By the time you scored a touchdown, you already had another goal out somewhere in front of you.
Under his leadership, Western became a degree-granting institution in 1922, and while Cherry saw much of the development of the original Hill, there were more than just buildings constructed during the tenure of Henry Hardin Cherry.
I think one of his great impacts, in addition to just the physical construction, was the spiritual building of the Hill. Cherry had daily chapel that brought together all the students, all the faculty at Western. This gave Cherry a pulpit from which he could preach. It was an ideal means of instant communication. Practically your whole student body, your whole faculty are together on a daily basis. There are literally hundreds of letters in the university archives from former students testifying to the effect that Cherry had had on their lives in the chapels.
1992 Hall of Distinguished Alumni honoree, Henry Hardin Cherry.
I can't tell you all what a privilege it is for me to stand up here and accept this award. Grandfather Cherry is legendary. Everybody recognizes that, and I'm constantly amazed at how someone who has been dead and gone as long as he has still has a daily impact on everybody around this hill, and certainly on me personally and the rest of the Cherry family. He set some pretty tough examples for all of us. Since coming back to Bowling Green some 3 years ago, it's been a lot of fun for me to talk to people who knew him personally. He died a couple of years before I was born, and so unfortunately I didn't have the opportunity to hear some of these great chapel speeches. I didn't have the opportunity to know him as an individual, but I've had some great conversations with people who did. And all of the things that I suspected and all the things that I read about, I know are all true. Dr. Kelly Thompson and I had a great meeting earlier this week on this very subject, because as you can imagine, I'm somewhat curious as to really what made up this legendary figure and what was the essence of the man. He was a lot of things. He was a promoter. He was a salesman. He was a visionary, certainly a philosopher. He had a great sense of humor, even bordering on being a practical joker at times. He loved to tell stories. He knew how to judge people, and he had great compassion for people. He was the type of natural leader that he didn't have to throw his weight around as president of the university. It just happened because of his natural leadership. And from my own personal point of view, it's been certainly an inspiration to me all of my life, and continues to be. So as I look at this very beautiful plaque here, I think of Grandfather Cherry's children. He had 3 children, my Aunt Josephine, Aunt Elizabeth, and my dad. And there are 6 grandchildren. And so, because of prior commitments, the eldest, Shep Lohman, couldn't be here. His sister, Dr. Cherry Lohman, could not be here. And so it kind of came down the pecking order to me, and I'm delighted to represent the family and accept this wonderful award. So to the Alumni Association and to everyone who had anything at all to do with honoring my grandfather in such a wonderful way, on behalf of the Cherry family, I thank you sincerely. Thank you very much.